they said they wrote on the newspaper they write on the newspaper every day until now. They say we are violent. You know, the LSD violent. Yeah. So and I think the image is going to be like, you know, the media is brainwashing people. So that is you know, is somehow very bad. For example, like Matt, when you went into jail last time, you know, only one newspaper report in Chinese. I don't know if like who controls behind is like, you know, the China government or just Donald Tsang. I don't know, but you know, something is just controlling the media, and I do think that because basically I think the Hong Kong people generally have no guts to fight back or to stand up to say something. Actually, you know, like you know, especially for the newspaper reporters or for the TV reporters, you know, when you know that you are going to lose your job, and then you just behave yourself, you know, like self-censorship and everything. So Matt, what do you think about it? I always angry with it.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you, to be honest. And, you know, I mean, we can talk for hours and hours about it, I think. And you know, I think in more programs we'll discuss it more, I think.
Continue.
Yeah, because it is an ongoing issue, I think. But before we finish, I want to have a quick little discussion about this, the row about the light bulbs as well, actually, and get some your thoughts on that. I mean, obviously, I think most people will know about the saga, the story about that. Just to remind international viewers, basically in the policy address, it was announced that the government would give $100 coupons to people, hand them out to people, so that they could go and use these to buy efficient light bulbs. You know, obviously to help save the environment and so on, which, you know, is a good idea actually in that regard. But obviously it came out that the chief executive's son's father, so his in-law, was he's running a big light bulb business with selling these efficient light bulbs, and there was an allegation that there was a conflict of interest. The fact that Donald the chief executive didn't tell society beforehand that his in-law had a vested interest, and so on. And there's been a bit of a row in Hong Kong about it. And you know, what's your take on it? What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I think no matter like if it's really intentionally done or not, I think it's only like we are only able to say that Donald Tsang has no sense of politics. Right. He doesn't know how to what should I say? Like create a public image. He basically could not have this knowledge to make the crowd believe him, or make the crowd to follow him, to lead, to be a leader. Like, I think he should actually reconsider his actions and what he's take on actions before like releasing this kind of documents or policies. Yeah,
because obviously politically he was a bit stupid, wasn't he? To be honest,
absolutely,
and a bit naive. You know, he should have known actually that. You know, it's to be honest, it's amazing how the Chinese media, how they would manage to find out that his in-law has got this business, and I don't know. I'd love to know actually who actually broke the story and how it was.
I think it's the light bulb business. You know, people behind.
Because someone tipped them off, didn't they?
Send some complaint letters to the government in July, but they ignore.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So that's why you know the bomb was just exposed.
Yeah. I mean, funny enough, actually, by coincidence, I was happening to be shopping the other day looking for a light bulb. Actually, it was just before the policy address, actually, and
wait for the coupon.
Now I think the thing could be cancelled. You know?
But and I tell you, go and have a look. I'd say to Andy, next time you're in the supermarket, and this company Philips has got a virtual monopoly, and this is the company that Donald's in-law has got. Basically, he's a distributor of this Philips light bulbs, and they've got they've got a monopoly on the this light bulb business in Hong Kong. And I went to a few different shops actually because I was looking for one of those. It was a special size, like a small one with a screw instead of a twisty one. And, so believe me, you can go into as many shops as you want, and you'll find that Philips totally dominates the market. So I can tell you, Donald's in-law is not a poor guy. But I mean, is it a bit of a row? Much ado about nothing. In some ways, if it was his in-law was selling cigarettes, or even if it was just something mundane like furniture, it would be more serious actually. But because it is actually
a light bulb,
well, not just light bulbs, it's meant to be lower, more efficient light bulbs to help the environment. It's the idea that it's potentially is a good thing, in that will probably be the reason why the chief executive will get off the hook relatively unscathed, I think, from that row. I think.
But it's very funny that some environmental protection organizations said that when you finish the energy-saving light bulbs and you throw away, the mercury will go into the ground. It's more harmful than a normal light bulb. So what do you? How do you balance the energy saving and the poison going to the ground, something like that? The argument is very controversial.
Yeah, that's an interesting. Even within the environment movement, there's lots of arguments like that. Actually, but I think most people would say, okay, but this light bulb, it will last 10 times longer, you say, and they'll say, okay, and it obviously it uses like 10 watts instead of 100 or something, and that's the way they'll. But there's always you will always have some environmentalists giving the other side saying, oh, but blah blah blah. You see. And Kenneth, I wanted to ask you. You mentioned something about the policy speech to do with. You had a statistic for me about constitutional development. Just tell me what you were saying about that.
Well, in this morning, I was reading the policy address this year, and I found out that there was total of 128 paragraphs of words in his policy address. But then about
bullshit.
Mainly bullshit. The more bullshit is coming about democracy and governance. It's only 7 paragraphs. So basically, it's less than 10%. It's not even 10%.
So the whole thing is crap, right?
Yes, and then more. The biggest problem is in that 7 pages, 7 paragraphs. I think 3 or 4 of them is about nation education. So basically, national education. It's about playing those, I don't know, national theme, anthem on TV, those kind of things. But then only 2 paragraphs is about the constitutional development. And that's really ridiculous to what a policy address should look like.
Yeah, I mean, that statistic just about sums it up, actually. Yeah. And, that is the Hong Kong government for you, full stop, actually.
Yes.
And, there's dozens of people in the government working towards a policy address like that.
And he's going to be the lame duck for the next 2 years.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting to see quite how it's going to play out, because obviously he's promised he's going to give some kind of report, isn't he, before the end of the year to do with constitutional development. Yes. And he's saying, okay, we're going to open up a bit more the functional constituencies and so on. But it looks like he's just going to rehash the 2005 thing, and he's going to basically say the same thing actually was what they were trying to push for in 2005. And then there'll be no real change at all, and it'll be interesting to see how the Democratic camp reacts to it, I think, and so on. And we can discuss more about their tactics in future shows, I think.
Maybe we ask Raymond to throw a watermelon.
Yeah. Right, yeah. On that note, Ken, I think we're just about finished, actually. Okay. So thank you again, and see you next time.
See you.
See you.
Bye.